It's where I wanted to give birth at the start because not a lot of hospitals offer water birth here in the Philippines. Choosing to give birth here was really a no-brainer for us. My peace of mind being here in St. Luke's is really, it's unmatched. I'm Coleen Garcia Crawford, and I'm an artist here in the Philippines, and I'm also a patient here in St. Luke's. I've been coming here to St. Luke's for so many years already, and I've been a very, very happy patient here. The day I found out that we were expecting another child, I was just so happy because it was intentional. We were trying and we really thought that it was time to have another child. The age gap is just perfect. We figured about 5 years. It was more excitement than anxiety this time around because I guess I already knew what to expect. But there was still that lingering thought of, I'm still gonna have to go through labor, I'm gonna have to give birth and everything, so I'm gonna have to breastfeed again. So there were those little worries. I mean, you never know what to expect when you're giving birth, and even after, you never know what you're gonna expect. So there are still those little emotions that I couldn't help but feel. My first and my second childbirths were completely different. The first time I got pregnant was during the height of the COVID pandemic. I really ideally wanted a water birth in the hospitals, and I couldn't have that because the water births were not available during that time, and even hospital births during that time were a little complicated. My husband wouldn't have been able to make it to the room with me. We would have had to go through that experience apart. When that happened, when I found out I was pregnant, of course I was happy, but at the same time my anxiety was just so bad because it's hard to protect a newborn child during the height of a pandemic. I can't describe like how different it was because this time around, like I would always go out. I would always go to events, I'd continue working. I traveled to 3 different countries for work pregnant, and it was just such a busy time for me, even though I was pregnant, compared to the first time where I had nothing to do but just worry and keep myself at home. The first time that I gave birth, I chose to do it at home. So I had a home birth, and having a home birth is just something that's also risky at the end of the day because if something were to happen, if complications were to arise, if there were any problems, the hospital is so far away and every minute would count. Totally opposite experience of being in the hospital because everything was just so familiar, everything was within arm's reach, I didn't have to pack anything. I decided to give birth here in St. Luke's. It's where I wanted to give birth at the start because not a lot of hospitals offer water birth here in the Philippines, and I just really trust St. Luke's so much. This is my family's hospital. We come here for all of our checkups. Our doctors are here. Our pediatrician is here. Now my OB is also here. So every time we do our executives, it's always here as well. We've been just very happy with the service here in St. Luke's, and we have no complaints whatsoever. So I guess choosing to give birth here was really a no-brainer for us. But the only thing is, I didn't actually have my water birth because I gave birth so fast that I didn't even make it to the tub. And even though nothing went according to plan, everything was so smooth. Everything felt so comfortable. And I can tell you, as somebody who has given birth at home, that I also felt so at home here. And I feel like I recovered faster here because there were people taking care of me. There were people always checking on me and the baby. And my peace of mind being here in St. Luke's is really, it's unmatched. Because when I did give birth at home, I have to admit, I had my worries, I had my questions, and at least here, there was always somebody to answer those questions. There was always somebody to make sure that we were doing okay. And I really trusted them with my life and of course with my baby as well. And it just meant everything during that time. Even though that I had already given birth, I kind of knew what to expect. It's still my first time giving birth in a hospital setting, so there were a lot of firsts, and it was such a pleasant experience. I would credit my fast recovery and my happy childbirth where I was laughing while giving birth. I would credit that all to the safe environment that I felt I was in. And just, I felt like I had everything I needed. And it was great because I had a long list of things that I needed and I wanted to use during childbirth. And I didn't end up using any of them, apart from the fact that the birth happened so fast. The delivery room had absolutely everything I needed. They have yoga balls of like every size. They have speakers. My speakers were so big pa, but they had like really good speakers there. So everything I would have needed anyway, they had it all in delivery room. So at least I know next time around, they're so well equipped with everything that mothers usually ask for and mothers usually request. It means everything to choose the right hospital. It's just to have confidence in the people who are handling you and your family. It means everything. And it just gives you so much peace of mind, especially during childbirth where things can be unpredictable. It's important to be in the hands of people who you are so confident in and who you feel safe with. So our pedia is Dr. Cricket Palangka Chen, and she is God sent. So every time there's a problem with my children where they're sick or there are just a lot of questions that I have, she always entertains those questions. She always gives me advice and she's always open. And that's great because we can't always make it here. And sometimes, you don't want to come all the way here. We have like teleconsults. So it's a lot easier now to get a hold of our doctor. The OB that I ended up choosing, because I asked our pediatrician who here in St. Luke's really specializes in water birth. And who was recommended to me was Dr. Karen Toredesti. And she has guided me so much throughout this whole pregnancy. She understands a lot of the modern traditions. So she's just very balanced in her views. She was very understanding of my lifestyle, which still included a lot of work, a lot of working out and everything. And she guided me throughout the entire process. I'm so thankful for her. And her guidance meant more to me than just what happened that day that I gave birth. Because there were a lot of small complications also in my pregnancy, and she guided me through all of it. And I feel like the baby is so healthy and the baby is doing so well because she guided me through everything. If I could describe it in one word, I would say comfortable. Comfortable, because I really felt so comfortable here during my entire childbirthing experience. It was so smooth for me, for my family, for everybody. It's the first time I gave birth, I was so traumatized and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna give birth anymore. I don't think it's gonna happen anymore. But now, right when he came out, I was like, I can do this again. Kaya. So I mean, it was such a huge shift. And a lot of it had to do with it being here in St. Luke's. The moms out there who just found out that they're about to have a baby, whether it's for the first time or again, to just take it easy. Put your baby before everything. So whether it's your diet, whether it's your lifestyle, there are a lot of things that we have to avoid while we're pregnant. I would highly recommend giving birth here in St. Luke's. Not just giving birth here, but just going through the entire process here. Find an OB here, a pedia here. I just feel so safe, so secure, and so confident in the doctors here. And also the nursing staff, everybody who ended up helping me during that day. And to have that safety net, to have that thought at the back of your mind that if anything were to go wrong or if anything were to not go according to plan, at least you're protected by everybody here in the hospital, from the facilities to the very skilled doctors and nursing staff, and just everything you need is here in St. Luke's.